The only place I lived was in Brooklyn, and I lived in 2 or 3 different apartments, from Brownsville, which was a lower middle class, close to slum, to East Flatbush, which was maybe 2 steps up.
I lived all over. First I lived at 39th and Lexington, and then I lived at 52nd and 1st. And then at one point I lived on 60th between Park and Lex in that area. But my favorite place that I lived the longest time was on the Upper West Side at 81st and West End. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. Great.
All right, so.
Am I directing my responses to you or the camera?
A combination will be fine. I'm not gonna be too weird. When you lived in New York, did you live in one place or did you move all around?
When I lived in New York, I lived in the East Village. I moved there on August 12th, 1975. I'll never forget that day. I moved to 236 East 5th Street between 2nd and 3rd, apartment F3. It was a 6-floor walk-up. 4 of us moved in together, 4 guys from Baltimore. It was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and it was a real challenge living there for 5 years with these other guys. We had a little system where we put a note on the front door if anybody brought a girl back to the place. Our rent was $285 a month. My share was $71.25, and it was a hell of a deal. And it was a great ride. I really enjoyed living there.
I was born in the Bronx. Turns out on Bronx River Avenue. And I didn't live there for very long, but I went back every summer and spent all my summers with my grandparents and my aunts and my uncles who lived up off Beer Avenue.
Well, I got to New York in 1939, and I lived in New York full-time until 1967. And then I lived in New York for another about 10 years, 3-4 months out of the year.
And where did you live? Did you move around a lot?
Always lived on the West Side, the only place to live in Manhattan, I think, but always in Manhattan. And I lived on 84th Street, usually most of these places were between Central Park West and Columbus. Only once was it a little bit further west on the corner of 84th and Broadway, and there is a movie house there now. But lived on 84th Street, 85th Street, 76th Street, 67th Street. That was the last one. That was moving always closer to Lincoln Center, I guess.
I came to New York in 1963. I drove a U-Haul trailer with 3 girls and a French poodle and moved into Greenwich Village on a Saturday night. If you've ever tried to park a U-Haul trailer on a Saturday night in Greenwich Village. And did 4-floor walk-up move-in. And I lived there on 9th Street.
I was born in New York City. And then we moved to the Chelsea section of Manhattan, which was 24th Street and 10th Avenue. Then we moved to 140 West 58th Street. Then 120 West 58th Street. That was a hard move because we did it all ourselves. This is my mother, my father, and myself. I'm an only child. Then we moved to 36 Sutton Place South. Joan Crawford lived in that building, which was kind of exciting. She wanted everybody not to get on the elevator when she was on the elevator, but we did anyway. Then we moved to 50 Central Park West with a beautiful view, and I could talk to the people in the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Then to 55 Central Park West, which we didn't like, so we went back to 50 Central Park West. Then I married Bob Toroff, and we moved to 63rd Street, right next to the McBurney Y. Then we moved to 11 West 69th Street, and then 24 West 69th Street. And that was all with Bob. That's 3 apartments in 9 years. And then we moved to Sarasota.